Okay, last class we were discussing the attribute data set. So these are the variables we have. Style. So data size is 479. Yeah.
So how do we select this dependent variables?
It is given, right? Recommendation. Whether the dress it is given. In the data itself, it will be given. Sorry, the problem statement itself. Yes, what is the objective? So whether recommendation will be done based on the variables or the shopping pattern, whether the recommendation will be done or not. See, the data set contains attributes of dresses and their recommendations according to their sales. Attributes and their recommendations. Attributes means independent variables. The other name of independent variables is attributes. Attributes, independent variables, predictors, all these things mean independent variables only. And recommendations. So why they separately recommendation? You can see here, there's a variable called recommendation 0 and 1. 0 means no, 1 means yes. Whether the customer has recommended the website or not. Or that's the objective, whether the customer is recommending the site or not for purchasing of dresses.
So that is independent.
Dependent variable is the variable which we are going to analyze. Independent variables are features or attributes that describe certain feature of the data or attribute. Dependent is what you will predict. Independent is what you will use to predict. So if you look at this data, there are missing values and most of the columns are non-numeric except the rating. Rating also we have to see whether it is continuous or is it a discrete data. So the dependent variable, which is denoted by Y in statistics and machine learning, is the variable to be predicted. Independent, there will be only one dependent variable. Independent variables excess, X, multiple variables used for prediction. This is the notation you need to understand. X will be multiple. There will be only one single variable, which we call it as the dependent variable, which needs to be predicted. Independent variables will be multiple, which are used for prediction.
Can be both numerical and arithmetic?
What?
Like any dependent or dependent, they can be both numerical.
Yes, dependent also. If it is dependent is where categorical, we have classification algorithms. If it is numerical, we use regression algorithms. If it is more than two, we use multinomial algorithms. So in this variable, the dependent is recommendation. So 274 people have not recommended, 205 people have recommended.
So automatically no values will be taken, considering at zero.
Huh?
Automatically no values will be moving into zero.
No. Now it will be NA.
So you have the 274 as recommended, 205 is not.
0 is no, 1 is yes, across statistics and data science.
Yes, sir. That is okay. How will this person will consider no as zero?
That is defined. The algorithms will treat until unless specifies. See, machine will not do anything. You have to interpret it. What is 0, 1? It will simply give you 0, 1 prediction. That's all. What that 0, 1 means, we have to predict. Machine will not predict. Predictions are used by human beings to analyze and interpret. Machine will not do the interpretation. Machine will treat them as classes. That's just as numbers. Just as categories. That's all. What that means, it's our job to interpret and analyze. 0 and 1. What does it mean? We know it. Machine simply treats it as a variable or a number. That's all. And the calculation in mathematics, we treat them as numbers. That's all. What it means that we have to interpret. We have to do the interpretation. We have to do the analysis based on the data which we are reading or data which is being generated. So if you look at the missing values, so fabric type has maximum missing values. Decoration next, material 119, pattern type 102. So these are the variables that have missing values. Okay. Now let us look at our missing values. NA calls is equal to So these are the calls which we have missing values, right? So the first variable, which is fabric type, we have 256 missing values. The next category is chiffon, broadcloth, worsted, jersey, and all. So we cannot decide to which category we have to add. So we'll keep it as missing. After fabric type, the next missing values 224 are in decoration. So decoration also, it's very high. We can't add it to existing. So what we will do is fabric type and decoration. Both impute with the word missing as too many NA. Cotton, nan, material type also. Cotton, nan is the second one. This also we have to use as imputing with missing only. Decoration. Material. Material. Then what you call after material, what do we have? Pattern type. Pattern type also too many missing values. So we can't do that one. So pattern type also we have the same issue. Too many missing values. Then we have missing values in small numbers in neckline, price, season, and sleeve length. So when you have too many variables as missing, we use the loop like this. For X in the list, frequency is equal to data frame square bracket X dot value const drop NA is equal to false and then print the frequency. So we can create a list of all the missing values and then use a loop to find the missing values in one go. The indentation is required in the loop. Got it? All of you got the loop? All right, all of you got this? So missing imputation, we will do in these columns. So missing imputation, fabric type, decoration, material, pattern type, right? All these are neighboring variables. You can copy them. So these are the variables where we are going to include with the word missing. Very less values. No, we can do it with more. These are large. We can't because the categories are small. We exactly don't know where the missing values lies. So that is the reason why we are using this computation. See, when you are not sure what to do, better keep it as missing or not available. That is the safest strategy. Rather than going and distorting the data, to be safe on the safe side, it is always better to keep it as missing. Okay. So for call in missing impute column, dress data square bracket call is equal to dress data square bracket call dot fill NA missing. Okay. For remaining missing values, we are going to do So what we have to do here is, for the remaining variables, it should calculate for each column a value counts table. Value counts table has to be created for each column, and then identify the maximum frequency and the name corresponding to the maximum frequency. The name corresponding to the maximum frequency is the word which needs to be imputed. That is the process. First step, for wherever it finds missing value, that column's frequency table has to be created. Identify the maximum frequency number. What is the name of that frequency category? That word has to be imputed. For that, we have to do dress data square bracket call dot value counts. Value counts is the function we need for doing the frequency table. Dot, there is a function called IDX max. IDX max means index of maximum frequency. IDX max is index of maximum frequency. So here what it will do is IDX max will identify the category of the maximum frequency from value counts table. It first creates a value counts table, which is frequency table, then identifies the maximum frequency and what is the name or category of that maximum frequency. It will use that word for imputation. So IDX max is index of max. Just let me go and check whether it worked or not. It has eliminated all the missing values. So whenever you want to do mode frequency on multiple columns or most frequency on multiple columns, you can use this. Or if you want to do mean median also, you can use this. Instead of value counts, dress data square bracket call dot mean or dot median. When you're iterating on multiple columns, you can identify the mean and of that particular column, and that mean will be imputed in that numeric column. If it is mode or most frequent, first we have to do a value counts table. From the value counts table, you have to identify the maximum frequency and what is the category corresponding to that maximum frequency is what we need to use as the imputation word. IDX max means index of maximum. Index of maximum. It identifies from the frequency table. IDX max first requires a frequency table, then only it will work. Okay. Okay. Hello. Hello. ఎక్కడున్నావమ్మా? పేరేంటి? అపార్ట్మెంట్ పేరేంటి? దాని ఎదురుగా ఏముంది? పూర్ణిమ మ్యాన్షన్ అని ఉంటుంది. దాని ఎదురుగానే మీకు సాయి పింక్ కలర్ అపార్ట్మెంట్ కనపడుతుంది చూడండి, సాయి మోహన్ ఎన్క్లేవ్. ఇంకా ముందుకు రండి. కనపడిందా? శ్రీనివాస నిలయమ్మా, అది ఇంకా ముందుకు వెళ్ళినట్టున్నారు, వెనక్కి రావాలి. అమ్మమ్మాస్ అని ఒక షాప్ ఉంటుంది, దాని ఎదురు అపార్ట్మెంట్. అమ్మమ్మాస్ అని ఒక షాప్ ఉంటుంది, ఆ షాప్ ఎదురుగా ఉంటుంది అపార్ట్మెంట్. ఇంకా వెనక్కి రావాలి. మెయిన్ రోడ్ కాదు, నాలా వైపు. నాలా వైపు రావాలి, లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్ ఉంటుంది అపార్ట్మెంట్. సాయి మోహన్. త్రీ 302 అమ్మా, సాయి మోహన్ అపార్ట్మెంట్ పేరు. లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్ ఉంటుంది, నాలా వైపు వస్తుంటే లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్ ఉంటుంది. పింక్ అపార్ట్మెంట్, అపార్ట్మెంట్ కానీ బ్రౌన్ గేట్లు ఉంటాయి. కనపడిందా? ఇప్పుడు ఏ అపార్ట్మెంట్ దగ్గర ఉన్నారు? So we have problem in sleeve length. Multiple categories are there. Sleeveless, this, right? And last one also we have one. Spelling mistakes are there. But basically the category is sleeveless. Okay. Sleeveless categorization we corrected. Then we have problem with cap sleeves.
Even the 3/4.
Turn down color also we have a problem. Hello. Hello. వచ్చావమ్మా ఏ అపార్ట్మెంట్ 302లో బెల్ కొట్టు కాలింగ్ బెల్ కొట్టు తీస్తారు Oh, 3/4, one more thing is there, huh? So these are the replacements. What happened? Huh?
in auto segment, you have half different and half different.
We are assuming it to be same. One category only, na? One number. There might be a mistake in terms of that, so it's only one value, right? So we are adding it to the existing category. I am assuming half means half sleeve because the variable name is sleeve length. Sleeve length half means what? Half sleeve only, right? Hmm. What is not there? Cap sleeves is not there, huh? How many observations are there? Hmm. There are two things, na? Cap hyphen sleeve and cap sleeves. Maybe this UCI thing they might have forgotten, but the cap sleeves is there in the data.
So for example, with some irrelevant thing, how do we create that?
Irrelevant because of the mistake of data entry, or it is totally irrelevant, we will delete it. If it is mistake of data entry, we will impute it with the relevant value. So what is that? Why that data came into picture? Is it because of entry errors, imputation? If it is completely irrelevant and it came, which is which is given by mistake or something like that, then we'll delete. That is how we will decide.
It's given in the column, for example. So we'll type dot till none, till any.
By default, null will be imputed with NA as soon as the data is inputted. That is the default basic Python thing, or R also. It will, as soon as you import any empty cell, it will impute with NA. That is default. If you don't want it to happen, you have to give additional argument when you are importing. NaN policy will be there. You have to define the NaN policy.
What about none? None is there.
Null will be treated as missing only.
No, none. None. I know it is.
It's a character, it's a word.
So
it is treated as a word. See, read underscore CSV is this many arguments you can give in read underscore CSV. So delimiter you can give here. Where is the so there are a lot of sub arguments which you can give within the read underscore CSV. So once you go into industry, you will be working with large, when you do large scale data, we will be working with lot of sub arguments. Date parser is one. Low memory. There is a low memory is equal to false. When you are playing with large data, you have to give low memory is equal to false. Otherwise, it will give you memory is not enough error. So when you're working with large data, we have to give low memory is equal to false. Then we have to look at the when you are looking at catch dates. Dates related also you have arguments. Catch dates means it will, if it is in a format of date, it will automatically take it as date. So a lot of things are there. You can give these things. The engine we use it when you are connecting to the database. What type of database? ODBC, Oracle database connection, SAP database connections, Mongo database connections. So we will be using various arguments as we go into the advanced levels. But initially we will work only with the basic default settings. So there are within the function, there will be a lot of arguments. Okay. Now we have done missing value imputations. We have also cleaned up the duplicated data points. Before we go further, let us see what algorithm will do. What type of imputation algorithm will do. It's not reading missing values in this data. Some problem in the data, it's not reading the missing values. Some problem, it is not reading the data properly. Okay, I'll show it later because this data, it is not reading the missing value somehow in R. Okay. Hmm.
In other columns also there is
Where?
see that.
We will go one by one. Because this is major thing, na? Season, what is repeating? Autumn, right? Winter and autumn. Hmm. Dress data dot season is equal to dress data dot season dot replace spring, autumn, winter only, right?
Winter also.
That's what spring, autumn, winter.
They're not doing any value decision.
Hmm.
So we have to replace with more frequent seven
Hmm.
value.
It is already done, na? There are no missing values. It is already done. There are no missing values. We already imputed them, right?
Using for
We have used the for loop to impute all the missing values.
the
Already done? All right. Any other pre-processing left? Pattern type. So what is repeating in pattern type?
left or missing.
Hmm. Got it confused. Okay, leopard is repeating, right? What else?
Missing and an ambulance.
Hmm.
Instead of this, you get something minus 12. What is that?
Hmm.
Like, there will be some-
Which one?
Are you open up the-
That is R programming. So fabric type, we have multiple replacements. In fabric type only, we have this type of replacements. Material also we have. Hello. హలో చెప్పండి. శాలరీ సర్టిఫికెట్ లేదమ్మా. Keep it as it is. Hmm. Neckline also we have. Yeah, size also we have. Yeah, already done. Done?
Protect the data sharing and numerical stuff. What's happened with Chiffon?
Go up somewhere you have changed the data. In starting side there is space. Copy from the ground side. They're using value comps. Why, how can you use value comps? Oh, wait. Numbers, now why it turned into numbers?
Yes, sir.
This is the problem. Okay, sleeve length also we have a problem. Where is the replacement? Where the approach is the replacement? No, for sleeveless. Why data is getting surrounded by forgot call. They are not given the call argument here, right? So this is where the whole missing data is being changed to numbers. Square bracket call you didn't give after the for loop condition. That's why it completely overwritten the data. See here, you have forgotten the give the square bracket call in the loop.
But why it will change the data?
But it doesn't understand what you are giving, so it will change to numbers. If it doesn't understand, the loop will corrupt the data. That is the problem with loops. You forgot to give the call here, so it converted everything into numerics. That's the danger with loops. If you don't give properly, it will override the complete data. Okay, it's 11 o'clock. Take your break. We'll meet after 15 minutes. I have discussed with you the normal process of doing cleaning and all, where I was going with step by step, where I'm just going with step by step analysis, so that you can understand the function, the structure and all. But in reality, we won't do this step by step. We won't do this step by step. It has to be fully done with automation, or we have to do with full function format using various data structures. Now, the same thing which we have done, the cleaning, which we, for your understanding, I did it in step-by-step process. I will do it in what exactly we do in industry method. So, why any calls? We don't need any calls. We'll do missing value imputations directly. So this replacement is the most important thing in this data because of spelling mistakes and all. Now, what replacement? Sleeve length, we have multiple replacements. Within sleeve length, we have multiple replacements. So sleeve length itself is a little bit challenging. Press data dot sleeve length is equal to press data dot sleeve length dot replace. Now we have to, you remember dictionaries? Dictionaries is a data type, key value pairs, right? So what we can do is we can give it as dictionary. Let us say square bracket, what were the different types we have? Sleeveless, sleeveless, these are all there, right? Column. What was the replacement? Replacement was smaller sleeveless, right? Similarly, we have multiple replacements with 3/4. Unhashable list type. Then we have to give or unsupported operands for string. Individual things, I think we have to here also. We have to do the key value pair based 1 second. Has null, no association between recommendation and price. Do the test. No association between recommendation and price. So reject null. That means there is a relationship between recommendation and price. There is a relationship between recommendation and price. Null is no relationship. We are rejecting the null. Null is no association or relationship between both variables. That we are rejecting, which means we are accepting that there is association or relationship between both variables. Got it? So recommendation and season. Test null, no association between recommendation and season. Recommendation and season. So what is the output you got? Yes. Dress data dot recommendation, comma, dress data dot season. Hmm? Tab. First three letters. First three letters and tab. Is less than 0.05. Reject null. There is a relationship between season and recommendation. There is a relationship between season and recommendation. Yes. So min is 0, max is rating is also. So there is differential rating pattern of that. Test null, the average rating of recommendation 0 or 1 is equal. Average rating of recommendation 0, 1 equal. First do the group by to check the mean difference, then split the data, then do the t-test. First do the group by. First do the group by, and for group by is done for mean difference. So 3.40, 3.60. Variance also different. Mean different, variance different. We will choose the variables based on their significance, which we think are important. Based on your subject knowledge and domain knowledge. Yes, both the means can be treated equal. The difference in means is not significant. You got mean, not 3.40 and 3.60. So if you see here on my screen, in exploratory data analysis, we'll come to know the important variables. The EDA should give you which variables are important. You have to do it, whichever data you get it. So Abhinav is asking questions like how to determine which variables and all. So first you need to understand the business objective. That will tell you which are the important variables, first of all. But if you understand the business objective, you will understand the important variables. Accordingly, you will collect the data. And then data preparation and cleaning and formatting you will do. And then exploratory data analysis will further determine which variables are important. So the first place where you get the important variables identification is the business understanding. The business issue understanding will give you the important variables. Then during the exploratory data analysis, you will further determine what are the important variables from those variables. In business issue, you might think, okay, 100 variables might be important. Take for example, you all have bank data, right? In a bank data, a typical HDFC bank or ICICI bank collects around 400 variables for each customer. For savings account customer, for a savings account customer, they will collect around 400 variables. They store in the data of every customer 400 variables in a database. Now the business is, they are asking you to build a model for loan approval. They want to remove managers' bias. Now what is happening is, managers used to give loans earlier, but HDFC Bank started this Insta loans and Insta jumbo loans and all those things, where system will decide. The algorithm will decide who will get, which customers will get loan, how much loan he will also get. The system will decide. Now, if you want to build a model for approving a loan to a customer, what variables you will need? You don't need all the 400 variables, right? The client might have suggested you some 80 variables. The client might have suggested you 80 variables. But do you think we need all 80 variables? During our exploratory data analysis and all the analysis, we found out, okay, we don't need 80 variables. We can reduce it to 30 or 40 variables. After building models, you found out some variables are insignificant. You further reduce it to 20 or 25 variables. That is how the data process will work. Typically, for loan approval, for a savings account, personal loan approval, what the HDFC Bank considers is whether it is a saving account or not, how long the account is operational, what is the average balance. you maintain every month for the last 2 years. What is the existing loan EMIs to, what is the loan to income ratio? What is the existing loans you have already taken from HDFC Bank? Then they will also calculate EMI to income ratio. Other bank EMIs also will be paying, right? So that EMI is to income ratio. They will also find out your expenses to income ratio. And they will look at your profession, whether you're an IT professional or what, they know all this data is there, right? And using these parameters, they will decide, the system will decide whether to approve loan or not. Once the loan is approved, you will get it in your net banking offer, or your, if you are a classic customer, you will get a call from the relationship manager saying that a loan has been activated on your account. You can take it with minimal documentations. So that is the process. On a customer, 400 variables data is collected.
So whether for that, these techniques are followed or?
Yes, this is the same process you have to follow.
Even for that.
We need to follow the same process. Domain expertise is required. Without having domain expertise, you can't work.
So when we do this, we just see the relation between two points, like you won't know if we should people know.
You have to know the knowledge. That's what I'm saying. Domain knowledge is required. Subject matter expertise is required. The basic logical understanding is required. For loan approval, what variables can I take from the existing variables? A logical understanding has to be there about the variables. So Casino, the whole thing has failed because lack of understanding of the variables. The problem is lack of understanding. The team doesn't have variable understanding. Because I know casinos, I visited multiple times, so I understand the variables. So when I'm explaining them, still they are not able to understand. So it failed. The project is stuck now. They dropped it off. They are working on some other data. That is what happens. If you don't understand the variables, you don't know how to deal with them, you can't complete the project at all. So a domain knowledge is required. Subject matter experts will be required. So that is also you are expected to know from industry articles. You have to Google out, you have to use YouTube. Those they understand the data and then you have to deal with the data. Not that everything, see, the whole process, you understand the process, that's why the company is paying you money, right?
So like if you want to open a casino details, you can't share it with us or?
No, I can't share with you. It is confidential data, so we can't work on it. The another thing is, again, most of you will have the same problem. You will not be able to understand the variables. Like genome data, agricultural data is there, genome sequencing, genetical sequencing data will be there. So in genome data, you'll get a lot of numbers. You will not be able to understand what is those numbers. Only an agricultural expert or not even agricultural guy, biotechnology guy will understand those things. There's a competition going on. Maize, maize genome prediction is going on. Last year they did wheat genome prediction thing. Now they are doing it on maize. Now for that you need to understand what is genomes, what the data structure itself is different. Data will be in VCF files. VCF files are genetic images, gene images files. They come up in a specific format, which have to be decoded and then imported into the Python, and then you have to work on it.
So we don't have any website regarding all this.
The websites are there. Many websites are there. No, you can't find. See, company will not give you any training. They expect you to work from day one. If you are going from Ematicus learning for a placement, they expect you have complete knowledge of understanding. No training will be provided. You will be working on day one. Now, they might push you into certifications. Cloud certifications, they might ask you if you are interested. If you are interested to learn, they might ask you to go for certification. But if you are going from Ematicus learning, the previous batches, they are hardly, they will be assigned a team within the induction is done. By 15 days of induction only, they will get the team and you have to report the team manager, they will start working in the first month only. The team manager will give you the codes and all, you only have to look at the codes You have to understand any doubts in the codes, you have to clarify with the manager or he will assign you some guide to help you understand the codes. Once you understand the codes, you start working on it. You are expected to work straight away. No training, nothing will be given. So you have to understand the codes. That is why I'm making you do things repeat immediately after I explain it to you. So that is how you have to learn. You have to go through the process, you have to learn on yourself, and then you have to work on it. They will not help you. They'll simply say that they'll give you access to the folders and they'll say the code files are there, download them and do it. In case of casino also, the old code files are generating error. That's why they were asked to work on the code. The old R files suddenly stopped working. So what is happening is 3 variable data got corrupted. Now that the problem is with the 3 variables. Half of it is text, half of it is numbers. Now we have to come up with uniformat, right? We cannot have mixed format. So I asked them to check with the client. What variable is it? Should we keep it as categorical or numerical? If it is numerical, what are the mapping categories that we need to know? They could not understand what happened after that. 3 variables were the problem where data got corrupted. And the existing R code is not working. They have been running the same R code for last 1 year, it seems. Suddenly it stopped working. Now, what was the cause was the variable data. The data in the variables got corrupted. 3 variables I identified and I told them these are the problem variables. If you correct these 3 variables only, we will get the outputs. Their client database. How it got corrupted, the client only will know. What happened to the database were mostly human errors only. Database guys might have altered the data structure. Or they might have trying to do some other thing and they got, see in database what happens is, if schemas are not written properly, it corrupts the complete data. Interlinking schemas will be there. You might have studied the entity relationships, right? One to many, many to one, one to one. All those entity relationships and all will get, if you don't write the schemas properly, there will be a chance of data getting corrupted. So once you get the data corrupted, you can't do anything. Models will stop working. So that is the constant problem we see. When we build data pipelines in cloud also, we make sure the database changes are coordinated with the machine learning team. If the database guys are changing any variable or or adding any new variable to the data, they should talk to the machine learning teams. Otherwise, the whole model will fail. If new variables come or existing variables go out, it will be affecting your models. So the pipelines, the data pipelines is where automatically we get the data from the databases or the cloud storages. So those have to be properly defined. And any changes you have to do with the ML team as well as the database team. Both have to sit together and alter the changes. Otherwise, you have problem in terms of model performance. So you need to have an understanding of the domain. Otherwise, it will not work. And domain knowledge also you are expected to learn on your own. They expect you to learn on your own using the sources. Predominantly the previous files. They'll give you the previous code files or previous data files, and then accordingly you'll work on those files. Okay, so we have done it on red. There was only one numeric, right? So any doubts in preprocessing?
Sir, ML, what did we cover?
ML will cover all, whatever, almost all the things in the sklearn. So within classification, we will cover linear methods. We will cover this one, lasso, ridge, elastic net, logistic regression, generalized linear regression. Then we will cover support vector machines, gradient descent, nearest neighbors, neighbors, decision trees, ensemble methods, multi-class and multi-output algorithms, feature selection, neural networks. All will be covered. Except some academic things like isotonic regression, semi-supervised things we don't cover, but most of other things will be covered. Both in,
Regression is separate topic, and regression.
yeah, regression and classification are different. So regression also same supervised learning. Then we have clustering methods. Within clustering, we have k-means, hierarchical clustering, and then DB-scan. DB-scan, your systems will not work. We'll do only hierarchical and k-means clustering methods. Then we'll also do dimensionality reduction, principal component analysis. This also will be done. Then model selection, cross-validation, grid search, exhaustive grid search, and cross-validation will be done. And pre-processing, we have already done. Standardization, normalization, encoding, imputations, we have done in pre-processing. So next class, we will start with our first algorithm, which is our multiple linear regression.
Next one.
We will start with ML algorithm, multiple linear regression, but simultaneously pre-processing will also go about based on the data we are going to do. So different data will have different pre-processing. So we will also work constantly on data pre-processing. So almost all the data we are going to use will have missing values, will have scaling issues, all those things will be there. So we will be also using those methods.
So normalization and all is for data.
Yeah. This one, what called independent variable transformations. Scaling, normalizations, and robust scaling. Then we'll do one by one algorithm will be done. Each algorithm will be done in detail. That means the calculation, the mathematics, everything will be done in Excel as well as in Python. So next 2 to 3 sessions will work on regression only. Because that's a very large concept. So, and the basic concept which is compulsory, a lot of questions will be asked. So we'll be working on that.
How much time will take?
ML will take time. At least end of January, we'll be completing ML. DL will start only in March. So February, we will be doing time series. We will be doing natural language processing, then DL. Hello? ఎక్కడున్నారండి ఇప్పుడు? అచ్చా, మరి ఎన్నింటికి వస్తారు? ఇక్కడ గచ్చిబౌలికి రావాలి కదా, టెలికాం నగర్ బస్ స్టాప్ దగ్గరికి రావాలి. 1 hour పడుతుందా? ఓకే ఓకే, మళ్ళీ నాకు అక్కడ క్లాస్ ఉంది కదా 2:30కి. ఎప్పుడు మనం వెళ్ళగలమా టైంకి అక్కడికి? అదే అశోక బిజినెస్ స్కూల్ కదా, అశోక బిజినెస్ స్కూల్. అలా కాదండి, మీరు ఎక్కడి నుంచి కాల్ చేస్తున్నారు? ఓకే, మీకు నెంబర్ ఎవరు ఇచ్చారు? అశోక స్కూల్ ఆఫ్ బిజినెస్ వాళ్ళు ఇచ్చారు కదా. ఆ అశోక స్కూల్ ఆఫ్ బిజినెస్ అది తూప్రాన్పేట దగ్గర కదా, రామోజీ ఫిలిం సిటీ దాటిన తర్వాత. అక్కడికి వెళ్ళాలి కదా, అక్కడికి వెళ్ళాలంటే నాకు టైం పడుతుంది కదా. 2:30 కల్లా అక్కడ ఉండాలి నేను. ఓకే, నేను అక్కడ 2:30కి క్లాస్ నాకు అక్కడ, నేను 2:30 కల్లా అక్కడ ఉండాలి. ఓకే ఓకే ఓకే, సరే సరే, ఓకే. హలో హలో హలో, ఒక్క నిమిషం ఆగండి, నేను చెప్తాను.